Alright, so today I'm going to be covering the Steam skewer. I was requested to make a video as well as cover a loadout for this weapon, so that is what I'm going to be doing for today. So with that being said, let's get straight into the perks for this weapon. I am running critical damage, and this is going to be a crit build, of course. We're running damage, nature, because we are in a water season currently, still right now. Running critical rating, and of course attack speed, and we're running the 6th perk that creates a steam cloud that damages enemies over time. And I'm going to talk about this damage perk real quick because I was recommended to use this damage perk and I will use it. But if you want a more casual option for this weapon, I highly suggest using an armor perk instead. It does sacrifice damage, but it will keep you alive. A lot better than not, of course, having it. But with all of that being said, let's get straight into the loadout for this weapon. And this is the loadout I've been recommended to use. I'm running Deadly Blade Crash in the lead. What she does is whenever you land a critical hit with any melee, it will apply a 30% snare and affliction damage that does 87% of the weapon's damage. Which means not only is our steam cloud going to be applying a 30% snare, which keeps enemies in it for 30% longer, but it's also going to be pretty much applying affliction damage, which should finish off any enemies that do escape from the steam cloud. So very, very strong hero for the lead. We're also running Totally Rockin' Out, of course, to get those crits up. That synergizes very, very well with our main hero that we are running. These two, of course, to activate Totally Rockin' Out. Again, you know, you could switch any one of these two for sub-wafers, you know, in case you're doing a mission that doesn't have that many enemies. We're also running Deadly Locust Luna. That's basically extra spear damage to enemies that are afflicted. Again, synergizes with our lead hero for even more damage. So again, pretty good support hero to have. We're running Hybrid for extra affliction duration, so when enemies are, of course, dealt affliction damage, you know, they have it for a very, very long time. And again, synergizes with our main hero. And then the last hero that I'm running is Aerobics Assassin. And this hero was originally supposed to be Assassin Sura, but I took her out for a specific reason. And that reason being that I don't really like her support perk, I'll be honest with you. You have to put in, like, you know, lots of work, so around 5 or so attacks, to be able to get, like, around 18 or so % extra damage. And I don't know, like, it's just not really a great perk. Like, if you compare her to someone like Rescue Trooper Ramirez, you get that 17% extra damage for all assault rifles and SMGs permanently. No matter what, you don't have to do anything weird. And then, give me a second to find, but the same with, of course, Hip Shot as well. You know, you get 17% extra permanent pistol and SMG damage. And with Shrapnel Headhunter, again, you get permanent 17% extra damage for shotguns. And I just feel like, honestly, the amount of effort you have to put in for Assassin Sura in support is, well, much. She is still a great hero for support, but I decided to replace her because she was recommended. I replaced her with Aerobics Assassin for one main reason. For one, she's of course going to be giving us more damage because it's, you know, 18% extra damage compared to 30. And 2, the weapon, of course, is really good against basic mobs, so like huskies. So let's make it better against those enemies, which is why I'm of course running Aerobics Assassin. And I'm just going to be running secondary anyways for smashers and other mist monsters. And let me get into real quick on what my secondary weapon I'm running for this loadout will be. My secondary weapon will be the Killjoy. I made a video with this weapon, link in the description for that video. But yeah, basically enough, this weapon, very, very good against elemental enemies. Very high single target damage, which is always great, and these are of course the perks I'm running on it. Just a basic crit build with attack speed, crit rating, double crit damage, and bonus damage to water elementals. And yeah, very, very good weapon as a secondary to help with smashers And the Steam Skewer is pretty weak, I would say, against smashers. So, should be a good duo for weapons, I would say. Alright, so this is the build. Pretty straightforward. Just a straight line, bunch of sound walls. I have wall darts right here, shooting through windows. Yes, they are properly power leveled for once. I know. And basically, these are the perks I'm running for it. You get minimal value, by the way, for maxing out that reload perk, so you can do it if you want, but I'm not doing it because, you know, free legendary perk up. Got the dual sound walls. Make sure they have different reload perks to stagger the reload time. Very, very important. And then for the other straps in the build, I have 1-4 spikes. These are the perks for it. It's just, you know, damage build, but doesn't matter because they're low leveled. Just using it for the snare. Same with the tar and tires. They're all support. They all play a role. And I also left a open spot too for a healing strap, like a campfire. I've actually been liking campfires recently, not gonna lie. Pretty nice. And the other two lanes are kind of lame. Just basically, you know, insta-kill, launch them off the map. As long as you got free some odd physics traps, like 4 wall launchers, and a snare, you should be fine. I also got a tire trap up there, and for a good reason too. Whenever I put a wall launcher here and a floor launcher down there with a ramp, I noticed that the enemies from the wall launcher clipped a ramp, so I have a tire strap there instead. That will stagger enemies, and then I got more physics traps to launch them down here, and then they just end up off the map. Pretty much like that. So, pretty lame, because it is an insta-kill strategy, but I guess kinda cool, you know, it is whatever. But other than that, let's start up the mission, play around with the weapon, and see how well it goes. Not gonna lie, but this is a very strong weapon. This weapon is able to shred basic mobs, like regular husk and huskies. Very, very strong weapon, especially if you're able to funnel with this weapon too. And I would also suggest funneling with any sort of other weapon that has AoE or piercing or any sort of splash damage or crowd effect. Besides chaining effects, they honestly don't really matter that much, personally. But very good strategy to just funnel everything right beside each other and just, you know, have them all die. I'm also running Teleporter 2 for this loadout, and that's mainly just because I am maining melee, so, you know, I gotta have a way to get around my build, of course. So I do suggest if you are playing a mission with this sort of strategy solo, definitely run Teleporter. It's very, very helpful. I promise you won't regret it at all. something that isn't really very good for this build is the steam skewer can actually poke the propane tank on sploders, so you should probably watch out for that, because you don't want to accidentally poke a sploder and then, you know, have your, of course, straps get blown up pretty much like that. So for sploder waves, you do actually have to rely quite a bit on straps, but if you're not really, you know, using straps with this weapon, then you shouldn't really have to worry about that too much. This is also why I wanted to leave a bit of extra space for healing straps, in case, you know, get low on health. Just drop a campfire or a health pad, you know, and heal back up to full health. The boss has finally shown up, and it's a husk mini boss. If you don't know, husk mini bosses aggro on players, as well as any sort of teammates, like defenders and or animals. So you can actually just lure them off to the edge of the map if you want, and just basically pretty much insta-kill them. That or just lead them around in circles. Very, very easy boss to deal with. I just thought I'd mention that because some people might not know that's actually a thing that you can just do, you know, with husk main bosses. So we're now starting to get some whoppers and flingers, which is definitely, I would say, one of the, actually probably the main weakness of this loadout, because it's not really that bad against anything else, just mainly the whoppers and flingers. But yeah, mainly the reason why melee just sucks against whoppers and flingers, you just basically have to hop around the map and just kill everything as soon as you get up to it, basically. It's not like a big deal, like if you're able to drop the, you know, leaks from flingers really quickly, and the whoppers themselves very quickly, you know, it's not that bad. But it's definitely something to take into consideration if you yourself do decide to use this sort of loadout. And of course, you know, decide to play around with it in, of course, other games as well. Like other missions too. But yeah, even against flingers, this weapon, pretty good. There's just a random husk sleeping here, and this flinger pretty much dies really, really quickly from the AoE. Just from the steam skewer itself, like I didn't use the, you know, the showy kill for the extra single target damage at all. And just like that, that's pretty much the mission completely done. Very, very underrated weapon. I do strongly suggest using the Steam Skewer. Very fun weapon. Very, very good too. And same with the Loadout as well. Well, I guess I should do the usual stuff. If you enjoyed the video, maybe think about liking or subscribing. I do this sort of content all the time on my channel. If you have any feedback or any sort of request for any sort of weapon, strap, perk builds for both, and of course hero loadouts, maybe leave a comment, and share this video with anyone that also likes Fortnite Save the World. Hopefully there's at least one out there. And hope you have yourselves a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. So see ya!